Meghan Markle's estranged sister has hit back at Prince Harry's claim that the royals are the family the actress never had. Harry told Radio 4 listeners his fiancée had a fantastic Christmas at Sandringham in Norfolk, and that his family loved having the 36-year-old Suits star. However, Miss Markle's half-sister Samantha has lashed out at the 33-year-old royal's comments and said loved ones always supported her growing up but she was too busy for them. Samantha, who is related to the actress through their father Thomas, fumed on Twitter, "Actually Meghan has a large family who are always there with her and for her. Our household was very normal, and when Dad and Doria divorced, we all made it so it was like she had two houses. No one was estranged, she was just too busy." Meg's family, our family, is complete with sister, brother, aunts, uncles, cousins, and the glue of our family, our amazing completely self-sacrificing father. She always had this family. Marrying merely extends it. She has a large family. She always did. Our dad is amazing and completely self-sacrificing. We made it so that she had two houses. How fun it was. Samantha's comments came after Prince Harry revealed how he and his fiancée enjoyed festive period. As he guest-edited the Today program, he explained how the couple stayed with the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge, who live in Amer Hall in Norfolk, while visiting the Queen at nearby Sandringham. Harry said, "The family loved having her there. There's always that family part of Christmas, where there's always the work element there as well, and I think together we had an amazing time. We had great fun staying with my brother and sister-in-law and running around with the kids. Christmas was fantastic." Presenter Sarah Montague asked the prince if there were any family traditions that had to be explained to Miss Markle, and he replied, "Oh, plenty. I think we've got one of the biggest families that I know of, and every family is complex as well. No, look, she's done an absolutely amazing job. She's getting in there, and it's the family I suppose that she's never had." Miss Markle's mother Doria Ragland, 61, and father Thomas Markle Sr., 73, divorced in 1987, and Mr. Markle Sr. has still not met his daughter's fiancé. But her half-sister has revealed her elusive father will want to walk her down the aisle next year, and her nephew will reportedly gate-crash the ceremony if he isn't invited. Samantha, who describes herself as a writer, a mental health counselor and a blabbermouth, has a murky relationship with her half-sister. Based in Florida, she is 17 years older than Miss Markle and has been an outspoken critic of her since news of her relationship with Harry broke. In interviews she has described Miss Markle as a shallow social climber and claimed she shunned her family since making it in Hollywood. The royal family would be appalled by what she's done to her own family, Samantha said. She also claimed Miss Markle had barely spoken to her since she was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis nearly a decade ago. Samantha is also rumored to be writing a slamming tell-all book, called The Diary of Princess Pushy's Sister, leading to accusations that she is cashing in on her sister. However, she has defended the title and claimed she has always looked out for her younger sister. "The title is a mockery of the media," Samantha told in November. "It wasn't me who called Meg pushy. It was the tabloid newspapers. She is not pushy. The book isn't going to be negative. It's a warm, witty, honoring book." Unfortunately, the negative sing-song has gone round the world. Despite her recent tweets, Samantha has previously alleged Miss Markle suffered racism from her brothers and sisters. Older members of the Markle family, she claimed, were opposed to the relationship between her father Thomas, who is white, and Miss Markle's mother, Doria, who is black. And when baby Meghan was born, they were distinctly unimpressed. There were a couple of family members from older generations who were not involved and made pretty horrible comments when my sister was born, Samantha said. "There was certainly the use of the N-word, which I hate. You are talking about people who were raised in an environment where this kind of bigotry was the norm. But the rest of our house was colorblind. Her childhood was magical. We made it fun for her." Samantha, who was told the news of her sister's engagement by a friend who had read about in a magazine, has claimed there was no falling out with Miss Markle. However, her words have been less than kind about the actress or her expected future brother-in-law. She once pointed out that Meghan, whose first husband had reddish hair, had a soft spot for gingers. Samantha has since disputed this. She told the Mail, "I may have said that our father has auburn hair, so perhaps that is her type, but I was not disrespectful." She added, "I feel awful," she says. "I'm sure I made some comments that could have been put in a different way." Unable to work due to her MS, Samantha has suffered financially, as did her father after his career as an award-winning TV lighting director ended. Both were declared bankrupt and Samantha challenged her sister on her lack of financial support. "We did have a conversation once. I felt she should help my dad when he was having a hard time, but maybe he wouldn't have wanted her help. People have said, 'You are being stupid.' She could call you and be more supportive, but I can't demand or presume to know what she could squeeze in. But I was honest about my feelings. I felt that we had drifted apart. In retrospect, when I searched my heart, maybe she just got very busy." These things happen in families, and when you are in a high-profile family, these situations are brought into big, dramatic focus. Prince Harry started his Radio 4 Today guest editing session by playing a grime song. The 33-year-old has taken the helm of the popular BBC radio show and will be the guest editor from 6 a.m. to 9 a.m. this morning. And he began the show by playing a track produced by Nottingham-based charity Community Recording Studios, which he has close ties to. The charity works with young people on preventing violence, and a song called "Step Out of Bed" by the Ivy Crew was played live on air. The station's flagship news show also includes an interview by the Prince of former U.S. President Barack Obama, who shares his memories of the day he left office and his hopes for his post-presidential life. The engagement comes after Harry stepped out with new fiancée Meghan Markle as the royals gathered in Sandringham for Christmas. The conversation with Obama features the former president talking about his plans to focus on cultivating the next generation of leadership through the Obama Foundation. Harry, who was recently at the inaugural summit of the Obama Foundation in Chicago, has forged a strong bond with the Obamas, through his work with servicemen and his trips to America. At this year's Invictus Games, Mr. Obama reportedly quizzed Harry on his romance with Meghan Markle as they watched the wheelchair basketball. The palace said the full interview will be made available as a podcast. Today finished at 9 a.m. this morning. "My darling boy, it makes me very proud to think that you understand." Prince Charles's touching tribute to Harry as his son tells him he picks his brains more now than ever. In Today program interview, Prince Charles today called Prince Harry his darling boy after his son told him he picks his brains more now than ever during a radio interview. The 33-year-old was guest editing Radio 4's Today program and affectionately called his father Pa and thanked him for allowing him to interview him for the show. And during the 4-minute chat, the Prince of Wales said it was amazing that he had been listening to him regarding climate change. The pair started talking about the planet, and the 69-year-old joked that people are finally waking up to his daddy opinions about the environment. When asked by his son to pick one issue to focus on, Charles said over the years there have been a whole lot of things he has tried to focus on that he thought needed attention. He said, "Not everyone else did, but maybe now some years later they are beginning to realize that what I was trying to say may not have been as dotty as they thought." The issue really which has to go on being focused on, big time I think, is this one around the whole issue of climate change, which is now, whether we like it or not, is the biggest threat multiplier we face, because what is happening now is what I was dreading, which is we are having to deal all the time with the symptoms that are springing up all around the world, and they are diverting us off down all these different channels to try and deal with ghastly conflicts and humanitarian and natural disasters, and goodness knows what else. But at the root of it all, much of it, is climate change, which is causing untold horrors in different parts of the world. When he started the interview, Prince Harry referred to his father as Pa and said it was very nice to see him. He later asked him, moving on, "I know the two of us could end up talking about this for hours and hours and hours, of which we always do, but not with a microphone in front of us. But do you feel optimistic about the future, for the world that William, myself, your grandchildren and everyone else out there is going to inherit?" His father replied, "Well, my dear boy, if I must say so, the fact you're saying this gives me enormous optimism. I haven't obviously put you off when banging on all these years, because if you think that is really encouraging. What I've tried to do all these years is to make sure that I can ensure that you and that your children, my grandchildren, also everyone else's grandchildren, have a world fit to live in." Harry later told him, "I totally see it and I totally understand it because of all these years of conversations that we've been having, and I do end up picking your brains more now than I ever have done." His father added, "Well, darling boy, it makes me very proud to think that you understand." Harry then joked, "And that I'm listening? Well, that's even more amazing," his father said. Former U.S. President Barack Obama warned against using social media in a divisive way during an interview with Prince Harry. Mr. Obama, 56, did not mention his successor in the White House by name, but many will see the comments as a thinly veiled rebuke aimed at Donald Trump. He was being questioned by Prince Harry, 33, as part of the royals' guest editorship of BBC Radio 4's flagship Today program. During the interview, Mr. Obama said there was a danger of people becoming stuck in their biases due to social media use. The ex-president said, "The question, I think, really has to do with, how do we harness this technology in a way that allows a multiplicity of voices, allows a diversity of views, but doesn't lead to a balkanization of our society, but rather continues to promote ways of finding common ground." And, "I'm not sure government can legislate that, but what I do believe is that all of us in leadership have to find ways in which we can recreate a common space on the internet." One of the dangers of the internet is that people can have entirely different realities. They can be just cocooned in information that reinforces their current biases. President Trump has drawn widespread criticism for the way he uses Twitter to attack opponents, and condemn what he brands fake news. During the same interview, Obama said he prefers Prince William over his brother while he was getting grilled by the prince. Prince Harry's interview with Obama was played just after 8:30 am. At the end of the 40-minute chat, the fifth in line to the throne fired questions at the 56-year-old and asked him who he preferred, William or Harry. He joked, "William, right now." Harry also asked him which popular U.S. television show he preferred out of legal drama Suits, the program which his fiancée Meghan Markle made her name, or The Good Wife. And to his delight he answered, "Suits," obviously with Harry replying, "Great, great, great answer." In his guest editing slot, Harry also focused on climate change, the military and mental health. During the lightning round of questions, the former president declined to say whether he wears boxers or briefs, but he was willing to say he prefers Aretha Franklin to Tina Turner. "Aretha is the best," he said of the Queen of Soul, and favors retired basketball star Michael Jordan over current star LeBron James. He also said he prefers the Queen to the band Queen, to which Harry said, "Another great answer." Obama also told the prince he felt serene on the day he left the White House despite feeling important work remained unfinished. He said it was hugely liberating to be able to set his own agenda in the morning and to have the time to talk with his wife, Michelle, now that he is no longer president. Both men said the interview, recorded in Canada in September, was Obama's first since leaving the presidency in January. Obama, speaking about his 8 years in the Oval Office, said, "I miss the work itself because it was fascinating." He did not mention his successor, President Donald Trump, but did say people in government should be careful in their use of social media. Obama also revealed he is obsessed with helping to train the next generation of leaders and said the world is in many ways healthier and wealthier than it has ever been. At the end of the show, Harry would not say whether Obama will be invited to his May wedding to American actress Meghan Markle, saying the guest list hadn't been drawn up yet. Boxing champion Anthony Joshua makes a cheeky offer to be Harry's best man. World heavyweight champion Anthony Joshua has offered to be Prince Harry's best man, after appearing on radio at the royals' request. Joshua was interviewed on BBC Radio 4's Today program when Harry took over the Current Affairs show on Wednesday as guest editor. He appeared at the request of the prince, who boxed during his time in the army, and was interviewed in the Sports Roundup segment about his career. The champion boxer later tweeted a picture of himself and the prince with the caption, "Back to work this morning. Congrats on everything this year and no pressure on the R4 guest edit." P.S. Need a best man? Harry will marry fiancée Meghan Markle on May 19, but it is widely believed he will choose his older brother the Duke of Cambridge to be his best man. William showed his affection for Harry by picking him as his best man when he married in 2011. Dispensing with the tradition that male members of the royal family have one or more supporters. Harry has previously confessed he used boxing to get out his frustrations when he was coming to terms with the death of his mother Diana, Princess of Wales, and still uses the sport to de-stress.